Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'll be your tarot reader here today for this pick a pile for our relationship connection that we have on our mind today. Now, you are more than welcome to dive into the timestamps within the description box below if you have already been called to a pile. But forewarning that when you are reaching into one of these, I will say that there is a variety of different types of energies within each of these piles. So please try to give yourself some time to meditate and think of what it is that you're trying to connect with. Is it a higher self? Is it a previous partner, a current partner? Is it a friend, a spirit guide? Is it the future you? Is it a group of people, a work relationship? Maybe it's someone you don't get along with. But whatever the case may be, please take some time to meditate on these. And let me go ahead and get the rest of the intro out of the way while we do this. I just wanted to give that out there first thing foremost. Um, Always remember that you are in charge of your life. Whatever is revealed today is not the only source of information that you can go based off of. You know your situation better than I would. So please, at the end of the day, when you're making a decision, do what is right for you and what is in alignment toward your highest good self. And I can only give personal experiences if I have been through them, so I cannot give professional advice if there is a conflict or a issue that may be going on. And secondly, if you find that one of these piles is not resonating, you are more than welcome to dive into any of these other piles. This pile down here is specifically going to be on my Patreon, and it will be $5. Now this pile, whenever I do a pick a pile portion, the last pile will always be on Patreon, and that is one way to help support the channel and purchase more cards and to develop more content for my listeners. And so just be there if you're wondering about this last pile. And um going back to resonating, if something is not resonating, think about if there's someone that is really close around you that it sounds more like, and your guides are using you as a way to, like a radio signal, to channel that reading and share with them. So if you find that something is on here that you would like to share with someone that would benefit them, please do so. I encourage it. And never try to open a door that has no knob or the right key in order to open this door. You definitely don't want to try to click something that doesn't need to be clicked, if you know what I mean. Now, so what this reading is going to entail, we're going to look at the theme, which will be that background feeling of what is going on, or even the purpose of that relationship. And then we are going to look at the energy that you are currently showing, or you are currently in, or about to step in. And then we are going to look at their energy and see what it is that they have going on in their world and what may be their main focus is. And then we're going to look at the purpose of the relationship or relationships, if this is someone thinking about a group, and what is the whole point in even the two being met. And then we're going to look at what may be a connection block or something blocking you, how to best deal with the situation or help resolve that block. And then we'll pull Scrabble and Charms towards the end of the reading. I'm excited, but let's go ahead and get our benevolent intentions out of the way and then do our deep breath work, especially with this kind of reading. We want to make sure we're tapping into the right type of energy. So benevolent spirit guides, ancestors, divine creator, and the highest good version of the collective selves they can become, help them channel a message here based on the relationship that they are trying to connect with and understand, so that way they know how to best help the situation for themselves or the other person, and ultimately help them choose the right pile that will resonate and clarify any kind of doubts or insecurities, or just quick insights into this reading for each of these piles. Thank you so much for your support and guidance, with much love and appreciation from your student and teachers. Now, when we are doing our breath work, please make sure that we are focusing on a pile. We're releasing what we need to release so that way we don't hold on to something we shouldn't be. And then so that way we can then receive the information that will assist us with these relationship connections. Now let's go ahead and do that first breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you still need a little bit more time, you are more than welcome to pause the video. But if you've already made up your mind, or if you have a couple of piles that are actually interesting you, or you are interested in, go ahead and select them within the timestamps. But I'm going to go ahead and jump on over, guys. Hi, Pile 1. Welcome to this relationship connection reading. And if you're coming in from another pile, welcome again. But let's go ahead and see what the background theme is with the crystal that you have selected today. So we have Cat's Eye, agility, intuition, protection. Evoking the bright eyes of a cat, Cat's Eye is used as a talisman to ward off and protect against any evil or unforeseen danger coming your way. It increases agility, allowing you to fly beneath the radar of your enemies and progress ahead of your competitors. Cat's Eye enhances night vision, giving you the ability to see through the shadows in higher definition and access heightened levels of intuition by opening the crown chakra. Cat's Eye is regenerative, helping you to regain what was once lost, with Leo or Venus being in Leo. So, first thing that I got from this card based off what I was reading is that it's almost like you're trying to accomplish something or regain something that you have thought was lost. This can talk about your relationships. Maybe you were in a relationship with someone and you just thought that you were never going to connect with this feeling or this part of yourself with this other person again. But you were regaining something that, you know, a part of you felt empty. Part of you was not tapping into your intuition here. And that is why this card is coming through here, to really connect you with that so you can understand this connection and why it is here today. And it doesn't want you to feel like you need to compete for it. This is something that you already have. And it may even feel as if this is a prize that you have been given for your hard work and your efforts, because you have been so focused on your own growth and your own mental well-being. But allow yourself to understand that this connection has helped you be able to see other people's shadows and really put a spotlight on them, so that way you can determine if someone was deserving of your own vibrant energy or even your frequency, because this is an energy that is saying that you do not want to entertain something that is of lesser value. You actually want the prize that you thought was lost. And you are also finding that the more that you are, if you yourself are the competitor here, then you're already ahead of everyone else. And you're not worried about what other people are doing with their life. You're not worried about who may have their eye on this connection that may be here. Now, if this is talking about, like if you're thinking about this as a career connection, this is talking about not worrying about not getting. It's like you are going to be okay if this is not something, that wasn't meant for you. It's more like you went under the radar and are moving on to other things if this doesn't work out. But with Venus being in Leo, if we're talking about relationships, it can be very dramatic, very passionate, and there's a loyal approach to love here, where people are using grand gestures. They're trying to show their affections and the admiration that they may have for you, or even you may be even feeling this similar way and showing it with others. This is the type of energy that you would see within a lover who is also a best friend. where you feel confidence, where you feel strength, and you are in the spotlight here. Now, for your energy, now you may find that you may resonate more with the other side of the energy, or you see yourself in each of these models here. Just take that as more like you are mirroring certain qualities, and that is probably why you are even attracted to this connection first most. So we have, this is the unicorn, and then this energy over here is the horse. So spirit has a way of making the impossible possible for you. I will say, when I seen this unicorn energy, I hope you understand, because originally when I did this, I wanted this to be your energy, but I felt that there's going to be some complexities down the road for the rest of my piles. So you're something very mythical and something that is very almost unreachable. And your energy right now, you're just really trying to tap into your intuition so you can trust your gut feeling on this connection. And you just needed a little bit more guidance here. And you can almost feel as if you are being moved into a new direction. Almost, is this the new direction going towards this? Because these remind me of very similar energies. The only difference here is one is tapped into their intuition, while the other one is much more grounded here, much more fast-paced, and they're already on the move, I will say. But trust is going to be key here. And really take this time to see if maybe there's a higher power that is connecting you to this. And if this is just a feeling, really start to question, explore, and contemplate. Because right now you're feeling as if you do want to grasp something more here. You want to actually see this actually on the ground in front of you. And this is talking about an awakening that is coming up because of this connection. And it's like, at first it was like you had to see it to believe it. And now that it's happening in front of you, it's like you're questioning it. It's actually in front of you. Why are you questioning this connection when it is physically here? Now, this other person's energy is very grounded, very dependable, and very supportive during this time period. And they have a lot of momentum going on in their own life, and they care a lot about having freedom. If they start to feel as if someone is trying to tame their wild energy, they will hop a fence and run as far as they can away from it, because they care a lot about their freedom. And anything they do is very expansive, big movement type of energy, which makes sense with Leo, or Venus being in Leo. Grand gestures, grand manes. Look at the mane on this horse here. And they're very confident with the way they approach things. And this is someone that would let you easily help ride on its back towards any kind of goal. And they're not someone that can be defeated easily. They're fully alive, they're fully awakened, they are tapped into their potential right now. And they are able to really take all of that energy that they have within them and actually use it and move it towards something. So it's very important for them to exercise, to be able to meditate on the things that they want and practice it daily. And their motto is they're not going to give up. And if you felt like this was a connection that was going to give up on you, that is not the case here. They're not going to give up on you. They want to see you really awaken your potential here and understand that you are not just a unicorn, you are also a horse. And then through you, they are able to tap into their own intuition here as well. But they may have issues with their own ability to kind of like, when they find that they are going in one direction, they are going in that direction. So this makes me think of Aries energy almost, where if they have an idea in their mind, they are already going through with it. And sometimes that can burn others because they kind of leave people in the dust. And But as long as they are able to accomplish it, they are very happy with themselves, and they can beat themselves up quite often when they feel defeated. Now, your energy over here with this connection coming together, you're trying to provide the best of both worlds, where it's not only in like the dream realm where it's actually, on the ground and it's physical. It's no longer on text. It's no longer on paper. It's actually meant to be, if you get what I mean. And so this connection, please trust yourself. Trust that you will be divinely protected throughout this entire time. And when you do illuminate their shadows, there is guidance here that is wanting you to help them work through their shadows, but not make them feel bad for the shadows they have. And that may be why they have to run so much, is because they are running from parts of themselves. And that is one thing, like with your energy, we have all of this shadow in the background, and you are fully embracing it. You are embracing these shadows and helping them awaken you. So they see a lot of things in you that they wish they had within themselves, and it's the same thing for you. You see that they're able to not let, like, your shadows may hold you down, whereas theirs are constantly at the end of their feet whenever the light is on them. The purpose of this relationship: we have lost lands, soul memories, and gifts. You've done this before. You've done this tango before with whoever this is. This is not something that is new for you. It's not your first rodeo. But the purpose of this relationship is to connect yourself to lost wisdom or parts of your souls, and to really remember what it is that helped connect this energy, and to make changes in your life, whether that be through a new career path or a new creation here. And to allow yourself to learn from mistakes, to usher in something new here. But soul memories and gifts, lost land, you've done this before. And if this is someone you've never even met, you may have had a past life with this person, and they are manifesting currently in this present moment, because there's something here that did not get accomplished or finished, and now you're getting the opportunity to do so. So this could have been a conflicting relationship that would not have worked in a past life, but now it can. And I am excited for you. But let's go ahead and look at what may be blocking y'all. And so y'all have 2 blocks here. And originally this is not the card that fell out. It's the card that I was accidentally reading into whenever I was trying to channel Omega, but I felt it made sense for your reading, so I added it. So we have Omega here. Look at the horses that are coming in here. Now, when this reading is being released, it will be very close to New Year, and it'll be entering in the fire horse, so the year of the fire horse. So victory, your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. But let's look at the blocks that could be preventing you from having victory here. So the first one is natural rhythms, actually flowing within your own natural rhythm, so that way you can make the best decision for yourself. You may have been blocking yourself from, listening to messages, and this person could as well, because you're trying to tap into your intuition here. This person is having some difficulties here, but listen to the messages that each of your heart is trying to whisper right now, and actually see the synchronicities that are occurring around you. I mean, hello, horses. How many horses do you need to appear in a reading for you to see how unique and mythical this relationship has and can become? And not too many people will have this kind of connection in their life, I will say. So stop and center yourself when problems start to arise, because you may find that when a problem occurs or an obstacle occurs, you try to just, with this horse energy over here, move through it and try to beat your head against it till it just dissolves itself. So there is a need to kind of like slow down and actually evaluate what is going on within the situation. And this may even come through when you're trying to analyze or feel shame when things go wrong. Maybe there was a fight or a breakup of some sorts, or it's just like you feel kind of embarrassed about how things kind of like ended on a note, and you feel shame for it because it was like either you didn't deserve it or they didn't deserve it. It's that kind of energy. So you're kind of like, how do I even approach this person? I can't even look at them in this moment because something has happened. But allow yourself to wait till you feel strong with your next move, rather than trying to make a move where you are on just 2 legs. You need to have all 4 legs planted on the ground. And you have these wings in this background when things become difficult. So when you find that you are flying out of a situation that is too hard for you to deal with in this moment. Now, Opal, coming in through here, your children on earth and in heaven are happy and well cared for by God and the angels. Trust the divine guidance when it comes to this connection. So one of the blocks here is feeling as if your concerns are not understood, or worried about judgment or anger the other person may have, or even worried about the well-being of children, even because this card has children in it and talks about children. So if this is a relationship that has maybe there was a separation of some sorts and y'all had children involved, or this person has children, and you're worried about the well-being of the children, or maybe even like what is best for them, what is best for both of y'all, and trying to not make people upset by being around this connection alone. So you may be worried how people are thinking or viewing what it is that is going on currently. But just know that this is something that you have done before, and you need to feel confident that your children, or if you do have children, that they're going to be taken care of, or whatever worries you may have. Maybe even your inner child here is really what I kind of like feel in this moment is one person is real in tune with their inner child and making sure that their needs are met, while the other one hasn't even developed a relationship with that inner child. And that's why I even said that this relationship connection can even be one where you are trying to have a connection with yourself. So always try to take what is resonating to you in this moment, because there's a lot of different connections that are coming through. Connections to children, connections to another partner, connections to a past life, and finding ways to listen to what each one is trying to tell you to bring in here. So when someone's knocking on the door to talk to you, and you're ready to actually have a relationship with that version of you or a version of someone else, then open the door so that way you can hear what was once lost can now be found. There are 2 blocks here. We have the ways to overcome this block is what I mean, the blocks that are here. So we have the 5 of Cups in reverse, and we have the Page of Cups in reverse. And because I have OCD, I have to get these on the side. So let's go ahead and talk about ways to overcome these blocks so everyone feels protected and they are going to be victorious. There's going to be a win-win situation here. So the Page of Cups talks about being able to be emotionally mature during this situation, and taking any idea that you have and actually letting it mature with you and others. If you are worried that this connection will fail because other people have an opinion about this connection, or you have family members or friends, especially if this is someone that is reconnecting with someone that they maybe had a rough patch with, and it's kind of like things you let go of the reins and things went out of control. And when you opened up to the people that were around you, that were close to you, they developed their own opinions of this relationship, and you're worried about being shamed for getting back with this connection. So don't let other people's opinions prevent you from having a healed, a more loving, a more loyal relationship now that people are starting to mature and grow in the ways that you wanted them to grow. And, keep your plans that you have private. Don't share what you have going on until you know for certain that this is something that is more sustainable and can be planted. And develop it without the influence of others. Just that is one of the big things that keeps getting said here. And don't allow your inner critic or your ego to run the show here. If you are someone that wasn't grounded with things that you were thinking, or you didn't have all the information in front of you, find ways to not let a past version of you, a past shadow that would have normally been forefront and for center and would have just made things worse, especially if this person has a tendency to let their ego do the same thing. But put egos aside so you can have that heart-to-heart connection, and find ways to express yourselves in your own authentic ways. Be very creative with this connection, and allow yourself to trust this intuition. With the Page of Cups being in reverse, and we have the unicorn over here, there's this need to keep healing your intuition, trusting your subconscious, listening to your dreams and the guides that are coming through, who have been giving you synchronicities through this entire time, and address any Peter Pan syndromes that could be potential here. If this person used to be very immature, not all grown up, acted childish, wanted to live in a fantasy world, or vice versa, allow yourself to heal, so that way, yes, you are bringing your inner child with you, but you're also growing and being an adult along the way. And I will say, it is, with this relationship, it's much better to try something than to regret and have never tried at all. So what do you have to lose here at the end of the day when it comes to this connection? That's one of the key things that is being said here. Now, the Five of Cups is asking, work through personal setbacks or feeling disappointed when they aren't able to accomplish something, or when you're not able to accomplish something. Work through those feelings so that way they don't manifest in a negative way, and prevent yourself from feeling like a failure or fearing like you're going down the wrong path. Actually open up to others, open up to this connection, so that way you can talk through what has been unsettling you and not making you feel as if everyone has left you, by wanting to focus on a true connection that has been loyal to you. And don't blame yourself or another. Don't blame anyone when mistakes are made. Find ways to forgive and move on, and know, like, anytime you were doing something, that you did the best you could. You may have did the best you could with this, when it was in the past, or if this is an old relationship, an old friendship, whatever the case may be, but you did the best you could with what you had. At the time, it just didn't work. And now you're being given an opportunity to see that there's a gift here now waiting for you to open. And appreciate the lessons that you have learned in the past. Learning, sometimes when we see people in front of us, we learn parts of ourselves, especially if this is being reflected. And just be open to take those risks. I feel like I've already said that, but that's coming through. Like, be ready. Be open to taking a risk, so that way you don't regret not getting another chance at this. But let's go ahead and put your charms and your Scrabble on the table. So here's your Scrabble and your charms coming through. So let me go ahead and kind of focus on your Scrabble first. So we have Trill, Sink, and TZ, and I actually made that time zone because that felt very specific to this reading, especially if you find that one connection's on the other side of the world, or if there's a past life that's in a different time zone here. But Trill is so working together with your time zone to stay true here. So Trill can be true and real, can be genuine, loyal, and someone that is authentic to themselves. They're not fake. Sync, talking. Oh my gosh, I can't even spell. Sync. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry for misspelling. Sync, and I just heard sink into your emotions here. Actually, allow yourself to feel, but allow yourself to work together on this. And the time zone, living in physical world or the spiritual realm, something that can be bound by schedules. Maybe schedules are not lining up together. It can even talk about balancing immediate responsibilities with eternal spiritual purposes. And this can even talk about the perception of time that can be influenced by emotional states or even passed differently with our level of engagement or focus. But this can, with the TZ being here, surrender to divine timing, spiritual seasons where you are resting when you need to be resting, and you are awake when you need to be awake here. But now over here with the hook, this hook clarifies the Peter Pan syndrome with the Page of Cups being in reverse. So allow yourself to find ways to return back to reality and not be lost within the mythical realm, and just allow yourself to grow and nurture your inner child throughout this process. And you may even feel like there's a hook that has been hooked into you. And now you are divinely protected with the cat's eye coming through here. So you are still able to go under the ground, and people are trying to really put a hook into the situation or figure out what is going on here, but they are unable to because you are kind of keeping this on the down low and just between you two. And this golf ball, and it was on the number 2 call away. This person is just a call away from you. If you've been hesitating from picking up the phone and connecting with this person, just know that you can. They're just a call away, and they may even want to come in and help. They would ride in really fast if they could, just to assist you. And this is so these golf balls have dimples all over them. So these are the impressions that have been made in the past. This can talk about from the time you were born all the way to these experiences, but each one is an experience that has molded you, and it's asking you to really be authentic and not be afraid to show all of these dimples. Now, some parts of this golf ball is dirty and other parts are really clean. So being able to show all sides of this, and being patient during this time. Sometimes when we are trying to learn something new and it's not something we are used to doing, it takes a couple swings before we find something that'll sink in. And this is talking about finding ways to line up your shot, so that way you have the best advantage here. But find ways to balance your relationships and understand what you are giving out will be received. And because that is duality here. So if you're giving bad energy, you get bad energy. If you give good energy, you should be receiving good energy. And if you are not, you are feeding the wrong individual. The bell over here is wanting you to actually listen to what is ringing within you and to believe in even the things that you cannot see. It's trusting your guidance here. And then this is whenever I was trying to figure out what this, because normally this is attached to an owl and the owl is not here, but this is a Shambhala bead, I believe, and it is there's a belief behind this being part of the mythical kingdom hidden in the Himalayas, where it is a place of peace, a place of silence, a source of happiness. And it also connects to the path of the warrior, where you are brave, compassionate, and very wise. This is a backbone ring, and it is a promise to um, be more, how do I say this? Be stern with your beliefs and your values. Don't let people try to change you for the wrong reasons, and to not make you feel weak. Have a backbone, have a spine to the situation. I will say horses, they have a very strong back. And that could be another reason why this came through, is very strong-headed. And so this pizza, when I was looking at it, it's like you're wanting to be able to feel as if you have many options or opportunities with this relationship. But I also noticed that this kind of looked like Braille to me with the pepperonis. And so when I looked it up, it's actually the letter R, or even rather. So wanting satisfaction, wanting comfort, wanting contentment rather than pain and regret. But I believe that is, oh, I almost forgot about the voodoo. So this voodoo doll has a couple beads on here, but the main focus here is taking action on what is going to help heal your heart and make you be able to authentically express that part of yourself. So we have 3 green beans, 3 green beans, if I can, 3 green beads here. So finding the balance in ways to express yourself. We have the gold bead here, really signifying needing to take action. This is something you desperately need to do. And then understanding your current situation, understanding your intuition, and taking use with what it is that unfolds today or even further down the road. But that is your reading, my dears. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe if it resonates. And if you know someone that would benefit greatly from this reading, please share. If you are wanting to jump into another reading because you were called to another one, I will see you in another reading, I hope. But I'm going to go ahead and head on over. Hi, Paul 2. Welcome to this relationship connection reading. Let's go ahead and dive into the theme or the background that is going on within this. So we have Malachite, cleansing trauma, intensity, transformation. Malachite takes no prisoners, at least with your spiritual journey. A powerful conduit for energy, Malachite cleanses the emotional body of trauma, whether from this life or a past life. A teacher of emotional responsibility. Malachite asks that you take accountability for your feelings and helps you release patterns that no longer serve you. Look deep within the worlds and patterns of Malachite to assess other dimensions within yourself. Explore different timelines and hidden messages, bringing your subconscious to light. We have Venus in Scorpio and Venus in Capricorn. So there is, with this relationship, at least why it is being connected here, is you're trying to cleanse emotional, especially within your body, trauma, and become emotionally responsible here. And just be able to take more accountability for your feelings and release any kind of patterns that you may have had in the past or with other relationships, and to access other parts of yourself, whether they be through those different timelines or hidden messages that are going within. And with Scorpio being in Venus, this is something that is very intense, very magnetic, and very deeply passionate here. And it craves absolute transformative intimacy over casual romance. So, and this kind of energy here is very cautious, they're very private, and they can be prone to jealousy or fear, or even fear vulnerability, if I can say that. So there is a profound emotional connection, and you're being asked to kind of nurture it and not let it become very obsessive, or even find ways to make it more physical, if that makes sense. I do feel like this is more of a relationship that is going on, and being transparent so that way you can help soothe any kind of inner, any kind of inner insecurities that this connection may be having. They need a whole bunch of confirmation that they're doing okay, that their relationship is okay, that there's nothing wrong within the relationship. Or when they start to feel as if things are drying out, or there's like a lost in connection or a lost in that magnetic pull, then being able to bring it back in. Sometimes it's, a hug or holding hands, or just making sure that they feel connected within this relationship. Now, with Capricorn being in Venus, talks about taking care of needs and not letting the connection become emotionally reserved here, because this can be a very serious and very committed approach to love, where it is stable, it is loyal, very practical, and it cares a lot about the long-term security over fleeting romance, which it can be very conflicting, since Scorpio in Venus cares a lot about that transformative intimacy, and then Capricorn is like, I really want to take my time with this. I don't want this to be something really quick. And so there's a need for steady, consistent actions where they are not grand, they are not public. It's like, this is something that they would rather, they don't want to share your energy, so that obsession's coming through. They don't want to share you with others. They're very private with their emotions, but they still want to feel as if they are connected, and from time to time will tune in back to make sure everything is okay. So build this relationship slowly, prioritizing maturity, sharing goals, and giving mutual support here. Now, we're going to dive into the energy. So you may find that you were either this energy or vice versa, but if you find that you were in both fields here, this could be mirroring qualities here. So for your energy specifically, when I originally did this, but anything can happen. We have Swan, and then over here we have the Bee energy. And look at the similar colors that each one of these has, where this one is like all around them, and the similar colors are also over here. But the Swan energy talks about being creative, being this sensitive mystic, being elegant and having power. They care a lot about being able to write, to create anything that is being reflected, or they want to reflect outward. And this kind of energy here is very healing. It's very potent. And if this connection had a lot of trauma that had occurred in their life, by being within your energy, it is very healing, or vice versa if you identify more with this energy. But it is very healing here. And it's not something to be taken for granted or taken lightly. The instant this energy feels like they are not worthy, that the efforts that they put in is not validated, they will fly away from a connection if it becomes like that. But right now, within this energy, you're kind of looking at your reflection and finding what is it that needs healing within your own self, and identifying with, are you a beautiful swan, or do you feel as if you are an ugly duckling not fitting in with the people you may have been around? Or even trying to say, well, how am I supposed to have a connection with this one? We may be completely different on different worlds, but trying to find, common ground here is really important, and seeing what do you each bring to this relationship. Now, when the swan becomes very imbalanced, or it starts to feel as if it needs attention, or needs its own solo time, you'll start to see it become very agitated and maybe snippy, or it's not even creating anything any longer. It's just kind of out on the lake, kind of going with the flow, but not going with the flow to create here. The bee over here is very earnest and hardworking. They can be very democratic. They care a lot about teamwork, working steadily, thoughtfully till a task is complete. And they can be very sensitive to things that are very subtle, like they understand things. So when you try to hide things from them or try to pretend that you are okay, they are able to pick up on that. And it's just, think of bees, they vibrate a certain frequency and they're able to pick that up based off of your moods and your energies and the things that you're spending your time with. And this energy can be very artistic and loves adding creative details. But when it works too hard and tries to pick up for everybody else, it can be very tired, or they may start to even gripe about the things that are going on around them. They become very pessimistic, and then they start taking it out on those around them. They start to sting, when in reality it's just they need a nap. They need someone to take over for them so that way they can rest their wings. And when they are overworked, they need to have their own mini vacations, or being able to separate themselves. So that way when they return, they actually want to keep adding more details into their work that are a part of them. And the purpose of this connection, we have trust the timing, trust the wave you came in, time is not running out. It may feel as if time is running out for this connection, especially if this person is trying to be a busy bee and get everything completed that they need to get completed before they can come into this connection if it has not made it yet. Or if you felt like you needed to grow up really, really quick and transform in order to be a part of this. So you felt like you were being rushed, otherwise it was going to fly away and leave. Because, bees, they have certain seasons that they are operating, and then by the time the season ends, they are starting their next process in life. So understand that you don't need to be worried about missing moments with this person, or feel as if it's too late to call them, or you've spent a lot of time away from this connection, and now you're a lot more older now and went down a different path. Maybe you're a swan, they're a bee, but know that you can still connect with them. And you're being asked to ride a wave that is meant for you, so that way you can enjoy life to the fullest, to be able to trust and to understand that. And I actually said this in my last reading, so if you felt called to pile one, I encourage you to watch it. But everything has a season. Think of Bridgerton, or the show on Netflix, I think. Bridgerton, how, each one of the kids or the adults that's in that show, it may not have been their time for them to thrive and do the dance, but they eventually had their own moments, their own connections here when it was right for them. And that is what is being kind of guided for you, is trusting the connection, trusting the wave in which you are moving on, and being ready when it's time to dance with this partner, and not be so stuck up on missing everything going on with them. So remember, obsession can be hard when maybe y'all don't see each other as much, or they have their own agendas, their own things that they're working on, but it's kind of like you want their attention to be on you in this moment. But this card right here can also talk about, don't try to compare your journey with someone else's or feel as if you need to compete with this, with maybe these imaginary competitors, or like I said, when you feel like you need to compete, you feel like you need to rush and win something. To not let paranoia disturb the seeds of this relationship. Actually trust it. Now, the block within this relationship is Serena. Serena says, I am the angel of abundance. You will receive the money that you need, and God is in charge of how that will happen. Have faith. Now, Serena, talking about blocks, wants you to be able to surrender to the situation, to be open, to communicate, to not let worry close you down to the point where you can't notice that there are gifts around you or even your own gifts. And it can even be like when you start to doubt that the divine is actually coming in to support you, and you don't see how the divine has infinite creativity when it concerns financial well-being or abundance support, and they will find a way. It just may not be how you think it will be. So don't worry about how you will receive this connection or how you will attain this connection. It's going to be very creative and not how you thought it would turn out in the end. And if you are blocking yourself from thinking about the repetitive thoughts or the feelings or ideas you may have had, now's the time to start listening to what is going on and allow yourself to relax and trust. Trust is the biggest thing here. To help heal this block, and I'm glad we have the Queen of Pentacles coming through here, nurture and support this connection emotionally and financially, where one is not doing all the work. So work with each other to achieve balance, balance between work, balance between home, or if this was talking about a work connection, this is saying being able to balance the tasks that you have so that way the other person you are working with is not the only one that is taking on all the workload. There's something here that is, mutually beneficial here. But become more free and independent. If one or the other has been more obsessed with the other or depending heavily on the other, find ways to become more independent. Be practical, be very generous to each other. Create a living for yourselves, not leaning heavily on the other. That's a big key here that keeps being said. And just allow yourself to be compassionate. Be straightforward with solutions to fix problems. So that way you're not beating around the bush or making the situation worse by not being very upfront with what is really going on. Teach each other, counsel each other, and help create a calm and comfortable lifestyle. Now this, like I said, lifestyle could be like creating a comfortable lifestyle at work. And I do feel like this is talking about an actual relationship, but if I had to really pin this down, I would like to say that if one partner is spending a lot more time focused on, what may be going on in their world, and they've kind of like prevented themselves from seeing how one may have been working more harder and they're about to go through a burnout. Or if there's a need to rush this relationship, it's like this queen is coming in with a ladder to kind of help you see that there are steps here that need to be taken before you can reach the top of the tree and take the fruit that each of you have planted in order to grow this tree. But let me go ahead and get your charms out and your Scrabble out on the table. All right, here's your Scrabble and your charms. Let's go ahead and dive into your Scrabble, and I felt like making it a word search. So you have gained an ace in the bag here, where you have the potential for passionate inspired energy where you have the opportunity for a very fulfilling relationship that, will be able to reflect and pour into it and just be able to reciprocate the same things and be able to financially build something here and then be able to find that intellectual connection where you can communicate with one another. And it's all in the bag. And so there is this potential here, but it has to be nurtured and very open to communicating with one and the other. Now, let me go ahead and look at your charms here. So we have this green voodoo doll, and it's completely green. So this makes me think of somebody that is very in the feels with this kind of relationship. And it's like lime, so it's like yellow green, so needing to take action on what it is your heart is trying to tell you. It's like your heart is in overdrive mode, but it's like your mouth is in here. You don't know how to open up and talk about this. And it's like you have your arms up and it's like, I need a big hug here. I need you to be excited about me seeing that, I see you. I want you to be excited about, this whole thing. I want to be able to feel this and feel like you feel like this with this. And then we have this little dinosaur here. So this is something that has been, it makes me think of something very ancient, fossils, especially if we have Scorpio energy coming in here. Scorpios, one of the things you can learn from Scorpio energy is when you find that your sponge, because think of this like a sponge, they hold on to memories, they hold on to trauma, they hold on to a lot of things that stung them the wrong way. And if your sponge is too full and it has a lot of things that need to be drained or squished out of it, then find what needs to be dug up so that way you can finally put it to rest here. So we have this gravestone here kind of like confirming that for this reading is whatever you need to bury, it is a good time to go ahead and start burying it after you have resolved the emotions that need to be resolved here. Especially if this is a previous relationship or gosh. And the other thing I'm getting from this is like you may have a really old ancestor that has been walking with you throughout this entire process, and they're just kind of coming in to give you a gentle nudge. They are a part of the wisdom tree that you have. And so here's some more green crystals within the tree, and we got the tree up here. We have the owl hanging in here, so trusting your intuition and finding, using logic within this situation. If you find that you have grown from a tree that is no longer abundant or fruitful or creates situations of rot, then find ways to remove yourself from that tree so you can plant something that is long lasting. This is a rocking horse, and this makes me think of night energy, where you find that there's a common goal or there's a mission that you would like to progress towards or even start an adventure. But if you're only playing with the idea and you're just finding that you're rocking back and forth on the situation, then really evaluate what it is. Once it stops rocking, then plan your next move. But this also makes me think of inner child work that may need to be done here to kind of like help resolve any kind of old wounds. This is a onyx ring, so wanting to feel protected, grounded, having inner strength, and be able to absorb negative energy and not hold on to it. So you're wanting, negative energy just to kind of like evaporate and promote emotional stability and foster self-confidence. So promising yourself to be very confident during this. This is actually not a part of this. I don't know how my Scrabble letters end up in my charm basket, but we have D and then the number 2 here, which makes me think of duality here. As above, so below. When you're giving, you are also receiving. Understanding that every action you do has a reaction. What goes around the world comes around. Any kind of thing that kind of like would kind of help with this. So when you're riding the wave, you're also going back towards it. So when you find that you are rocking away from something, you are just really finding the energy to propel yourself forward with it. Now, I know I said if you felt called to pile one had the actual pizza that goes within this box. And so if you start to feel as if something is empty or something is lacking and you're trying to find that happiness, but this is the sunny pizza where everything you have that you need in order to be happy is within your grasp. How you define success or how you define your own happiness, that is for you to feel for yourself. That way someone doesn't put something you don't actually like an anchovy pizza or whatever the case may be. You're actually filling it with the things that do make you happy. And this bag here it's the smaller bag out of the other bag. So you are lightening the load here so that way you can move forward on this new venture, this new journey with this new connection. And the aces are in the bag here. Everything that you need to manifest this is here for you. Now, that is your reading, my dears. So if you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know anyone that would benefit from this information that you notice may be going through this situation, please share. And if you felt called to another reading, you're more than welcome to go over to another reading. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here and start on the next one. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to this relationship connection reading. Let's go ahead and dive into the theme around the background that is going on. So we have black tourmaline, grounding, protection, detox. An energetic bodyguard, black tourmaline acts as a psychic shield, protecting you from destruction, negativity, and psychic attacks. It is excellent at establishing boundaries and deflects unwanted mental energies. It is also used for grounding, stabilizing your foundation on earth, and making sure both feet are on the ground. With a natural electric spark, black tourmaline absorbs fears and transmutes those emotions into positive energy. Use this stone to balance your root chakra and detox any anxieties, and it has Sun in Capricorn. So with black tourmaline kind of like coming through, this connection is trying to protect you against destructive behaviors or destructive tendencies, feeling negative or pessimistic, or when you find that you are overloading yourself with, or even like when you're not protecting yourself from, negative, lesser, I'm not going to say psychics, but what I'm saying is, just being able to protect yourself against someone that would like to kind of like manipulate your energy. This connection is trying to help you establish boundaries. So that way you don't focus on unwanted mental energy. So other people's thoughts are not coming in and sabotaging your own growth or your own potential. And they're wanting to help ground you to earth and help with anxiety. So that way they can help you absorb any kind of fears that are helping you create, that are preventing you from creating, or they're even creating illusions. So that way we can turn them into something positive where we can learn from our mistakes or things that used to scare us that prevented us from living our best life. Capricorn in Sun is a very ambitious, very disciplined, very practical kind of energy where they need to have a purpose in life, where they care a lot about earning their respect. And it's like, this is an energy that wants to earn your respect. They want to actually earn you. They don't want this relationship to feel like a handout, or how do I word this? It's like, it needs to be very slow because it gives them purpose when they are working towards something. They care a lot about stability here. So one thing that'll be very important for your energy, and even this other connection here, if you find that you are mirroring each other, is being able to stabilize when one or the other finds that They are picking up on things that they should not be carrying any longer, focusing on long-term successes, building the values that bring structure, and understanding that this is a long-term investment. So prioritize security over spontaneous emotional expression. You may want to be able to express with this person, but what they care about is, are you going to show up on day 1 this way at day 100? It's being that same person where you are not being inauthentic. They actually want to see the true you. They want to see the things that you have worked on in your life, and how they can actually grow and build something together based off of this connection. Let me go ahead and put this over here. But let's look at your energies between each other. Now, you may find that you are more this energy. I did plan for the listener to have this energy, but you may find that one is the other. So you are more than welcome to flip-flop. So we have bear energy here, and then we have the nightingale energy over here. So the bear is waking up from a slumber. You may have been sleeping in life, or even finding that you're hiding within a cave and you heard someone sing. You heard this call, this thing that brought you out from the darkness so that way you can be underneath the sunlight. And at first it's like movement and effort may be difficult. Well, there's a reason why this connection is very slow and trying to build on itself. You need to actually build the momentum, because there is a need here to make sure that each step that you are putting down is a confident step here, where you are actually wanting to be awake for this. And this card can even talk about, within the energy here, is there's new directions being given. There's this personal transformation that is going on. So the bear has to go to sleep during a specific time in their life in order to heal, to conserve their energy before they can actually re-emerge again with nature, and then start their next cycle. And that next cycle may even be finding a partner, depending on where you are at in your life. But something here is transforming, and you're trying to find your inner strength and the ability to grow with this connection. That is what you're yearning. You're yearning a connection you can grow with. And when you find that you don't have those things, you will withdraw, or you start to sleep on things that are starting to make you feel really heavy, and kind of like go back within your own cave. But I feel this energy is coming towards this. It's like there's this light that is being shown, and it's not heavy energy. This person over here does have a lot of things that have been very heavy for them, but they have found that when they are expressing themselves and actually have and can actually talk, then the light finds a way to illuminate itself. But when you find that you are withdrawing from this connection, find ways to keep moving and not lingering in the past. And when I seen this card, and I don't know why I've been tapping into, children books that I used to read to my son, but brown bear, what do you see? I see a blue bird looking at me. But what's great about this bird is this bird, the nightingale, is actually brown. You're finding a connection with someone who is, you may not think you have similarities, but you do have similarities, and the way you express yourselves. But the nightingale energy has a fearless voice. They speak fearlessly with the way they communicate, and they care a lot about the song that they are creating. And I will say that this is someone that you may find writing or composing something, or they just enjoy poetry or singing. They love music. So one ways to connect with this energy, if you haven't already connected, is through music. or creating something together. You may be on a project with this person, and that's why you started to come out of this hibernation mode, is because something that they are doing is waking up, and now you want to kind of like compose something together. But this nightingale cares about keeping a bridge between their heart and their voice open. So when they see you shut off your voice, when you go into hibernation, it it can damage them in a way that prevents them from being able to open up effectively. So try to find ways where, even like if you do need to step away for a moment because you have to take care of your own energies, then openly tell them that, hey, I just need to step out for a bit. I need to kind of like take a nap, or I need a vacation, or um, I need to wait before I can return back to this conversation. But by you opening up and connecting to them, that is going to make them feel really good about this connection. And if they have something to say, I will say this, if they have something to say, they will say it. So be prepared for whatever it is that they need to express, and to not take it like where it kind of like beats you up and makes you kind of like want to run away. Just hear them out and see if there's anything that you both can do to kind of collaborate, where, at the end of the day, you can say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do to fix this. We're going to address this. It's so important to acknowledge, each other's shortcomings, and to unconditionally love them for their own shortcomings. But when they are speaking, most of the time, they're going to speak with kindness. At the end of the day, they just want what is best for everybody. And when they are unable to, you may find that they're very shy around those. They have a lump in their throat, especially if they feel like they don't fit in. This is a bird that had to find different ways to express itself, unlike the other bird realm, where all the other ones had to use flashy feathers, vibrant colors, and the only way it could express itself is through its voice, its presence. It lets its presence be known because of its voice. Music will be very healing for this person. Your purpose for this connection is, we have the 7 star sisters: birthing, creations, tapestry of life, and expression. You two were meant to build something together. You two were meant to create something. If you haven't created anything, now is a great time to do it, especially if you are artists, or if you are content creators yourself. This connection is here because there's something here that you need to do together to birth into life right now. It wants you to stay conscious. That is the other purpose of this, where you are not going through bare slumber mode, and to finally start weaving your own web of life, where you are not just dangling on someone else's web that someone else had made. You're actually creating something that is very unique and is very much your own web. And it's finding those connections too. So whenever you're writing a story, I found that this was beneficial whenever I was in school, is when it's like you have a title already for the story. Now you need to branch it, where you have, okay, well, this is a detail, this is a detail, and this is a detail. And to back up those details, you have other webs to connect that. And then eventually you'll have this entire web with the central focus being in the center of it. So, and that central focus is staying awake and present, so that way you can express yourself too, where you don't have to hide or slumber. But this is an energy that talks about just flowing, being in the flow, being in with the rhythm. Now, the nightingale, one of the benefits of being connected to you is it looks to you when it's time for them to rest, because you're paying attention to nature's music. When all the birds are done singing because they have left to go to south for warmer weather, maybe they lose themselves and forget that they need to rest too. They need to find shelter for themselves. So they benefit by observing your own example here. But now is the time to be an artist, to be creative, to be a poet, to be a musician, to just create something together. Now, the number 7 is calling my attention. 7 is in numerology, it talks about reflection, making assessments, and then building on previous knowledge. Does the things that we know now help us, benefit us, or do we need to align ourselves to something more different? But being able to take the information that you have available. And then the star here makes me think of wishes. It makes me think of hope and regeneration here, being regenerated by being within this connection. And these ladies are dancing, and they're dancing to the rhythm in which you two are feeding each other. And then when you stop feeding each other, then that is when the dance will stop and the stars will stop to shine. So just be very careful that you don't lose that frequency in which you both are sharing. The blocks that are currently within this relationship, we have Adriana. So I am leading you toward the answer to your prayers. Please listen to and follow the steps I am communicating through your intuition, thoughts, and dreams. My bear who slumbers, you're the one that is going to be very in tune with this, because you are dreaming, you are listening to your intuition, and that may be why you have to sleep on some things, so that way you can get the best source of creativity, finding creative solutions to problems. And this person may want to talk about the issues, the problems that are going on, whereas you were like, I can find an answer if you allow me to go take a nap. But you may be someone that is really hard to ask for help or requesting assistance or trusting. This other person may even have trust issues when it concerns their guidance. And it could be that it's hard to take steps towards the highest version of yourself. If you have been blocking yourself from repetitive thoughts or repetitive feelings, Adriana is wanting you to come in here and pay attention to the thoughts that may be going on, especially when you're thinking about this person. What are you thinking or what are you feeling when you are around them? And that'll be key for them as well, as to pay attention to their own thoughts and feelings when they are around you. I know that's hard to do. I know how hard you would be to like, I need you to watch this reading, specifically pile 3. And then they're like, what was I supposed to get out of that? What do they mean? I need to trust my thoughts and feelings. I know how to express myself vocally, but, focus on, what is repeating. And once again, paying attention to any kind of visions, any kind of dreams or auditory messages that are going on. It's like when you're in the car and a random song comes on and it just has the answer you needed in that moment. Or when you're walking past a group and the thing you were thinking about, they start talking about and have an answer for it. That is guides coming through earth angels to kind of help you with this connection to find the answers you need. But allow yourself to take action toward change, especially if you are very resistant to, especially when seasons are changing. But work together to co-create something, especially if you're not someone that usually works with someone. But to help heal this, we have the moon in reverse. This is going to talk about releasing fear, any illusions that may be presented through high emotions, anxiety, but especially if you have been repressing your emotions. Are you leaving and sleeping for the wrong reasons, or are you hiding and slumbering rather than dealing with what is going on in the moment? And this can even talk about, do you find yourself constantly holding your energy in? And that's why you are like slowly walking towards this connection, is because like you're trying to hold everything back to not scare this bird off. And ask yourself, what is it specifically about this situation you are confused about? And you will receive that information through your dreams and even through the lunar cycles. So whenever you need to release something or even put something in the ground, so that way you can reap the benefits of it during a full moon. But understand the impact of the energy that you carry, because they will feel it and they will let you know when they start to feel like this clouded dark energy that's down here. They'll let you know if they can feel your aura is shifting. Liberate yourself and transform. Don't pretend when something is wrong. And when you are receiving downloads, like psychic downloads coming in from your guides, or when you're picking up on certain things about this person, make sure that you have a separation from those that may be around you, so you are picking up on the right energy or the right connection with this person. Dream diaries are going to be really key here as well. Pay attention. I keep hearing pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to when you go, the reasons why you slumber. That's key here. Why do you sleep? Obviously, you need to sleep to rejuvenate yourself, so that way you can let your brain process the things that it needs to. But if you are sleeping when you are depressed rather than working through emotions, let those be key here. But let's go ahead and put your Scrabble and your charms on the board. All right, here's your charms and your Scrabble. Now your Scrabble is probably the most peculiar out of all the readings I've ever done, because I am uncertain about what it is Spirit wants me to kind of bring to your attention. But I heard film bid, and then I had 2 blank tiles and then the X, so that makes me feel as if there's a need for 2 signatures on whatever it is that you are creating, so that way there is each one has authority over the work that they put in for whatever you are doing. I don't know if the listener is someone that is actually in the film business and they actually do their own kind of content creating, if you would. But I will say this connection, just make sure that you are able to sign off on it and feel very good about the way you are expressing yourself. We have this voodoo doll here, and this is like a superhero. It's like taking action. You are the superhero in this person's life, or this person is the superhero in your life, where you are able to come in and save the day and be able to express yourself and not this is solid blue here, so there's a need here to speak what is on your mind without shame. Then we have this voodoo doll that has its arms, so from its neck down it's all dark, and then we have the orange head. This is a need to take action on what your body needs in this moment. So if you find that you are neglecting your needs, neglecting your ability to speak up when you need to, pay attention to that, and don't let yourself sew your mouth shut. And work together, so that way each person actually receives something from this connection. Then we have this sticky notebook. So it is, turning over a new chapter. You may even be trying to write a script or a story, or trying to find things that will stick and land, since this is a sticky note, but not being caught up on the details, or even needing reminders in your life, so that way you take care of your body's needs, you take care of your vocal cords, even if you are a singer. But being your own hero, being your own best friend in this situation. But that is your your reading, my dears. If any of y'all are actually creating something like a film or a movie, or if you're creating a song, I would love to know that, because I have been, this this one made me feel like I questioned whether or not this is actually what spirit wanted right here, but I went ahead and trusted it anyways. But you are creating something with this connection, and I'm excited to see, down the road what is unfolded from it. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you know anyone that may be going through this energy, and have a really great day. And you are more than welcome to dive over into another reading if you felt called to. Hi, Pile 4. Welcome to the relationship connection for you. Let's go ahead and look at the background theme that may be going on around this connection and see what it has to unfold for you. So we have Bumblebee, Jasper, pollination, willpower, new ideas. Sting like a bee, Bumblebee Jasper enhances creativity and helps to pollinate ideas, bringing them to life. This stone gives off a fighting spirit, having been formed in volcano and containing a strong earthy energy that connects with the willpower of the solar plexus. Bumblebee Jasper also assists in alleviating allergies, soothing irritations, and nurturing one's overall health. Bumblebee Jasper encourages you to create a buzz, to let yourself be seen and heard for who you are in whatever new projects you're working on. Take pleasure in your gifts. And it's got Sun in Leo. So one thing that this connection is helping you do is truly bring your ideas to life, where they're not just written down or sitting on a shelf for, a better day. And actually fighting for what you want and using your willpower for the benefit of this connection, and to nurture your overall health, not letting you be depleted to actually pollinate and create these flowers that you are wanting to grow around you. But this connection also wants you to actually be seen and heard for who you are, your most authentic self, and to create a buzz with your gifts. So with the sun being in Leo, there is a need to be in the spotlight, to be generous with the spotlight, and to be authentic with yourself. I actually had the card Leo come out in one of my collective readings today. So I was wondering if it was going to have anything to do with this reading that I was talking about today with y'all. So if you've never tapped into Leo energy, now is a great time to really look at it and see how you can see how you actually light up a room when you walk into it. And it can be very, if you're not someone that is used to being in the spotlight, you deserve to have a time to shine. And when you have worked really hard on the things in your life that you need to celebrate, and celebrate with those that you are very loyal to around you. But let's go ahead and look at the energies within each individual. Now, you may find that you are strongly this one or strongly that one. Now, I did intend that this was going to be my listener's energy, but it is okay if you need to flop to the other side. So we have tiger energy on the left, and we have mouse energy on the right. And I do want to throw this out here because of the differences in the creatures here. Your energy is, and I'm sorry if this is not you, but this energy is so intense that I can see it scaring this mouse right here, where they're like, how do I even work to connect with this kind of energy right here? Like, especially if we're too far different from each other, but like your presence is felt. It's felt by this, and it may make them feel like they need to kind of like shrink down. But Leo doesn't want this connection to shrink. Leo wants you to not have to wear things that don't make you feel comfortable. They don't want you to have to twist yourself to appease this mouse. So if you're trying to shrink yourself so that way you're less intimidating for this mouse so you can connect with them, that is not the case here. You should still be able to embrace all this tiger energy here, so that way this mouse can do the same for itself, where it can be its own self. But you may be a night creature, someone who works better during darker hours, but this is a very brave energy. Like, you have no problem working within the shadows, and you are very tapped into lunar cycles, where you're paying attention to when it is it time to manifest, when is it time to plant, when is it time to let go of things, especially during like dark moons or when it's dark at night, letting your shadow out, so that way you can cultivate it and make it a part of the stripes that you have, so that way you are not just a solid cat. You're actually proudly owning your stripes here. But this energy is very sensual, it's very passionate, very receptive, and devoted to those who honor it, who don't try to make it shrink. And at times, they may crave silence in order to find calmness. When this tiger becomes very imbalanced, you'll find that it's very overstimulated, and it can be hard. This can be a very overstimulated energy if you have the mouse near it, because the mouse is it cares a lot about details and can nitpick at times, which can make this tiger feel very aggressive. But if you are someone that is tapped into your intuition in the cycles, moon gazing, candle gazing, any way that you can watch the shadows dance off something and almost pretend as if it's your own shadow that is working with you in this moment, will kind of like help you from feeling overstimulated and help you, do really good deep breath work. Now, the mouse, going into details, they are very detail oriented, and they can find that they want to control whatever project or situation or thing that is going on. And at times this can even feel like they may be controlling you. But this mouse can be very nervous when it feels as if it doesn't have a purpose, and it feels as if it's just doing something for the wrong reasons. And you will find that they are constantly fixing something or preparing for something, maybe a doomsday, organizing something. And they can be it kind of reminds me of like, I'm a Virgo, and I can find that I'm very hard on myself. So this mouse can be very hard on themselves, and they may scrutinize themselves and not see their worth or their purpose in things. And they feel like they need to constantly fix themselves. And that's the benefit of this connection, is you're trying to show them that they have their own power, their own sense of bravery that they need to tap into. Maybe even tap into their own candle gazing, I will say. But I will say they don't realize when they take it too far. So if they do, you are going to be able to help them, like, stop, you're doing too much, you need to rest. I normally don't see you at nighttime, and I need you to go to bed so that way I can have my own me time. And so that way they're not taking it out on you either. But sometimes they just need to step back for a moment. And, projects that are meaningful will matter greatly to them. That, like, if you know that this mouse has attention to detail, put them on something that would be really great for their eye. Maybe, since you're, night creature energy is what I'm feeling here, like, they can pay attention to the things that are going on during the day. And if this was like talking about a career connection, I really feel like there's a need for established trust, knowing that when you pass something off to someone, that they are actually going to be able to take care of it as if you were there taking care of it. But for relationships, I really feel like this is like not letting one energy suffer while the other energy thrives. It's like there's a need for balance here, when they take it too far. And then it's like, if you think you're a mouse, but you're actually a tiger, and they think they're a tiger, but they're a mouse. It's being able to balance those two energies where they can make the best of both worlds and see the benefit in this connection. The purpose of this connection, we have your life as a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. Okay, so you are an artist of your life, and it's time to take responsibility to create a life you want to live and express it. And this connection is trying to help you find that for you, where you see the details that would help you get there. And aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the vibration to match them. So having an open heart and an open mind, and having consistent daily actions. This card, this energy, they will need to practice mindful thinking, so they're not so nervous all the time or anxious when they may be around you, or worried about what it is that is going on in your mind. Or like when you don't see each other as much, it's like, oh God, they hate me. They want to eat me. This is the day that this is my last breath. And in reality, it's just, you were just resting, you were sleeping, you were just focused on things that make you feel more passionate. But there is a need for deep gratitude for the good things in your life, not focusing on the bad details, actually looking to see if there are good things that are around you. But this connection wants you to be more creative, to create more, and to attract good experiences into this connection, because that'll be very beneficial to both of y'all. The block that is coming through, we have Indriel. You are a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all of its inhabitants. So what is one of the blocks? I will say, it is the need to make the world a better place. And when you feel as if you can't make the world a better place, it causes everything within each of you or one of you to like unfold on yourself. Like it's like it prevents you from wanting to move forward. And one thing that could be blocking it is like not noticing when someone else needs help because one is overstimulated, or actually having the confidence to make life changes in order to assist others and be sensitive to the other person's emotions. It's like, and if you're not clearing yourself regularly, like if this mouse energy is not winding down and they're not relaxing and slumbering so that way they can find creative solutions within their dream world, then that's when they become very anxious, I will say. It's And this person may be focused, like one of the details that they may be focused on is how to make everything perfect for you. And it's like they're doing too much in the process. And it's kind of like they're trying to spend too much focused on what's going on over here. And you may just want them to focus on themselves, focus on what they need to be focusing on as well. Or, because they are someone that is oftentimes taking care of all the little details or taking care of everything around, and kind of like blocking that off from your view because there's this trust that they can do it. But if you were to take the wall down, they probably would have been in a corner, unable to move themselves. And that's when you kind of need to step in and kind of give them a little bit of your power that you have, so that way they can get through, the rest of the day or the next day. But this can also talk about any kind of toxins or cords you may have attached to you that prevent you from wanting to help one or the other or other people. Like when you find that you were constantly helping others and now you are burnt out and don't want to help anybody else because you need to help yourself now. Or when you find that you are starting to feel as if, the world is better off without you. But this connection is letting you know that the world needs you both, to see that you do each have a purpose. And one of those purposes is helping the world be a better place. And they want you to notice when there are people around you that would love to help you or help this connection or help assist, the, I don't know, this is kind of like a tricky energy. I will say this. But I will say you need to shine your divine light and love, like each of you do. And that was the purpose of this connection. And there may have been flip-flopped personalities where we were operating with a nervous energy and then something that needed more detail in your life. But let's go ahead and look at ways that we can kind of heal this energy so that way you can create more, because the canvas is in front of you and you can paint whatever it is that you want to paint. We have the High Priestess here, and then we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So trust your intuition when things start to feel unbalanced, or as if you are juggling more than you can carry, or what your partner or this connection can carry. Use moon cycles to help release and manifest. Really pay attention to your dreams and what they are trying to tell you about this situation, or to key in when this person is not letting you know that they have too much already on their mind. And really ask, what are your priorities versus another person's priorities? And how can you listen to your guidance and stay grounded in this moment? And if there are many creative projects, take accountability over the ones that you wish to take. But the Two of Pentacles really wants you to find a way to balance what is yours to work on versus what is theirs to work on. It almost makes me think this tiger could probably carry a 50-pound weight, whereas I think this mouse would have difficulty to do so, that they would start to see stars around them the instant they tried. So know what each one can carry, and see that as like that's how you see strengths in each other, is what this person can do versus what this person can do, and you can see the best of both worlds. But I'm going to go ahead and get your Scrabble on the board and your charms. All right, here is your Scrabble and your charms. So let's go ahead and look at it. So when I originally did this, I was doing it with like a word search almost, not word search, but I guess word whatever. And it made me think of a step that needs to be taken here. And so there's a need to kind of like lie down in a room and really look at what may be ruminating in your mind or each other's mind, or even if there may be something looming in the background. And this mouse can probably feel it. They're very nervous about it. And a rue can symbolize feeling bitter, having regret, having remorse, or even pain. But it can also talk about the plant that can cause skin irritation when it's exposed to light. So whoever is, that really enjoys working in the night time, when they find that things, maybe if there is a lie going on that is being exposed in the light, or something needs to be put to rest here because it's just festering and it's not making anything better. But try to make room for what needs to be surfaced, so that way it's not lying so deep within that it's causing these irritations within this connection. And the other thing that this Scrabble, because I had like two different ways that this was going to build itself, if you don't mind me. just because we have Leo energy coming in here. Okay, and then we have this right here, Leo. Okay, the Leo is luring you to be able to roam where you need to roam without fear in this connection. And try to see this as like a button pusher. So if one person is pushing the buttons of another, then how are you going to receive it? Are you going to push the button back? Or is this potentially an obstacle that may be coming through with the Two of Pentacles? It's like, what are we pushing to the other side? Do we have, you know, balances that are imbalance, or balances that are imbalanced? Are there any imbalances that may be occurring? But let me go ahead and talk about your charms. So these are, and I've noticed that this sticky notebook has been slowly breaking apart. But if you felt called to pile 3, I did have a sticky notebook, and it did talk about creating things. So I encourage you to check it out if you felt called to. So notice how one is thicker than the other. And I put it on the mouse because the mouse cares a lot about the details, whereas you are able to really pinpoint what needs to be done. But then it feels as if this can also talk about what is the mouse carrying versus what the tiger is carrying, and if there's a need to communicate here. So that way we don't find that one person has all of the work on their plate versus the other. And then we have, in this corner, we have the number 12 on this die. And number 12 is like with the Hanged Man. So looking on, and here are some questions that you can ask. What areas of my life can I practice to surrender or surrender more? What do I need to put on hold right now so something new can come in or emerge? And what new perspectives are developing currently within this connection? And this is, it's got, here's a googly eyes, someone is kind of watching this. This could be this other person is watching you, or you are very invested in the movement of this mouse, kind of like when a cat sees a mouse kind of like scurry through the house and their eyes dilate. It's like you are heavily watching what this other person is doing. Then there is this ring, and it's really, really big, I will say. So look at the promises that are being made. Can they actually wear the promise? Do they actually have the promise in hand already before they make it? And let's see, there are 9 jewels on here. Will this promise be fulfilling? Will it help you obtain something? And what is coming to fruition from this connection here? This is a yellow bead here, so there is a need to take action here to pollinate something, so that way it can grow. And you can feel that mutual, I don't know why, but it's like there is a need here to actually feel as if it is fair and that what each person is doing is equal. It's like when you both are working 40-hour shifts, and by the time you get home, one person just sits on the couch and the other person's already thinking about making dinner and cleaning the house, and that person sits the entire time on the couch. And that could be very frustrating. So it's like needing to see that one person is not taking care of all the other details, and the other person's kind of like resting throughout the night. This is I'll talk about the rose earring, and it is attached to this yin choker. So a lot of sweet things are being whispered right now, and they're trying to make you not feel as if you have to keep your guard up, or it's like there are these thorns here that are coming through. It's like they're sweetly saying something, but there's still a prick to what it is that they are saying. And it may be making you feel as if, your more feminine side may be choked in here. And the high priestess cares a lot about taking care of your divine feminine energy, where it is flowing, it is creating, it is in tune with your emotions and the emotions of others, and it is nurturing and compassionate. And you may feel as if that part of you is being choked right now based off of the sweet things that other people are trying to say to you or say about this connection. And it's making you pay close attention to their actions and the things that they are doing. Then we have the Holy Peace Dove here, letting you know that there is divine guidance that is coming through, trying to provide a message for you for this specific connection. And I almost lost my thought there. So that way you can bring more peace to the situation based off the guidance that is coming through. So that way you can see if maybe we need to combine our notes together and come to a solution here that would benefit greatly to the connection here. But that is your reading, my dears. I am excited to see if this resonates and what may be going on with this connection, but I do feel as if there is something looming over one or the other, and it's making one person feel more nervous or feel as if that they need more space, more freedom, and to feel as if they're not being lured into a trap of some sorts. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know anyone that may be going through this, please share this information. And if you are going over into another reading, I'll see you in another reading. But I'm going to go ahead and show the number pile 5. Hello, and if you are interested in this pile for number 5, it will be on my Patreon for $5. But I wanted y'all to go ahead and get a glimpse at what the cards looked like, so that way you can see if it will help you with whether or not this is something you do want to invest in. And I wanted to go ahead and read this crystal for you, so that way it can also be a clarifier for you as well. So we have red jasper. Justice, strength, and stability. Red jasper works closely with the base chakra and heals any wounds surrounding injustice, grounding you back to the earth. Red jasper alleviates chronic worry, clearing mental blockages to make space for balanced emotions and thoughts, working with the base chakra. Red jasper can also help heal issues related to sex, inviting you to explore your sexuality in healthy ways, providing stability and protection. Red jasper balances yin and yang, expressing masculine and feminine energies that feel safe yet nourished, with Mars in Aries and Mars in Scorpio. But I will include the link within the description below this timestamp, so that way if you do want to go further in this reading, you can. But I appreciate you so much for your patience and your listening and watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the content that was brought here today.